Reading from the Japa Reform Notebook by His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj. Our Krishna consciousness philosophy is based on the authority of Krishna's words manifested through the Vedas. Brahmachari Samudbhavam. The Supreme Lord's breathing is the Vedic knowledge. Don't take it as some ordinary philosophy. Don't be so over intelligent as to foolishly minimize the Vedic injunctions, not realizing the actual knowledge. We don't have to be original, inventive, or make something up. Rather, we have no words. Rather, we have to repeat the words of Krishna and follow the instructions already given by Krishna and the Mahajanas of the past. But if being misled in some way or the other, you take an atheistic, sophisticated attitude toward the scriptures and don't understand their nature as absolute, axiomatic truth, then that is a great offense.
Hare Krishna. In the dawn of creation, even Lord Brahma found darkness enveloping all around. And he could not ascertain the truth. When he was sitting on the top of the lotus, he got down the lotus and walked through the stem to the navel of Lord Vishnu. Standing there, he still could not see anything. He saw only darkness everywhere. You can imagine, Lord Brahma is the first created living being. He is son of the Supreme Lord. His body is made up of intelligence and he has 4 heads. We only have 1 head. With even all these loftiest qualifications, he could not, discover the Supreme Lord. He could not recognize the Supreme Lord. He only saw darkness everywhere. That means, if a sadhaka has not done sadhana to get the clarity of vision, he will not be able to see the hand of the Supreme Lord in his life. Therefore, the Lord prescribed a program for him, tapa. And then he sat on the lotus again and entered into austerity. Austerity means voluntary restraint of mind and senses for a higher spiritual purpose. So when he did that, his mind, senses and intelligence all became cleared up and he could get the darshan of Lord Vishnu, who shook his hands, blessed him, benedicted him, empowered him and did so many things. So, Prabhupada writes in one of his purports, even the topmost of the personalities in this world, namely Brahma and even Durga Devi. Durga Mata is Shiva's wife, sitting right next to him and repeatedly asking many questions to him about the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada says, because she is asking questions over and over, that means even she is in ignorance, Prabhupada says. Otherwise, why would she be asking questions? That means the personified material energy, Durga, and the first created living being, Brahma, even they don't have clarity of the Supreme Lord without being blessed by the Supreme Lord. Therefore it is said, Muhyanti yat surayaha. Bhagavatam says that. Name vidu suraganaha prabhavam namaharshayaha ahamadirhi devanam maharshinam sa sarvashaha. Krishna also says, Name vidu suragana. The host of demigods do not know me. Krishna says, when Varaha appeared from the nose of Brahma, even Brahma or Chatushkumaras or Marichi and all others, none of them could ascertain the identity of the Supreme Lord at that time. Therefore, one should know that even great personalities are subjected to illusion and understanding of Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Ranvikshaya, it is said, even Brahma had to study the Vedas 3 times to come to the right conclusion of Bhakti Yoga. First he came to the conclusion of Karma, then Jnana, then Yoga. And after completing the Vedas 3 times of study, then he came to the right conclusion that Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate. And one should surrender to the Supreme Lord. Even Veda Vyas, literary incarnation of the Lord, had to be advised by Narada to see the absolute truth with a bhakti perspective. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale apashyan purusham purnam mayam chatadapashrayam. When he saw with the bhakti paradigm, at that time only he could see Supreme Lord Krishna, and side by side to Krishna there was Maya who was subordinate to him. So this vision was impossible even for Vedavyas, who was subjected to despondency and inability in observing the absolute truth on his own endeavor, until his Guru gave him the correct paradigm to see. Therefore, the Vedas have to be approached with a bhakti bhav, just as we approach the Supreme Lord with bhakti bhav. Reverence, respect, submissiveness, obedience, considering oneself a full number one. With this kind of paradigm, one should approach the Vedas very gratefully, thankfully, as a revealed wisdom from the Supreme Lord directly. And then only the Vedas will become lively for us, and they will reveal the truth to us, cleanse our heart and enlighten us, giving us the right vision to see the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the Vedas declare, it is said, Shatru Chedeka Mantram Sakalam Upanishad Vakya Sampujya Mantram. In all the Vedas, the holy name is glorified in various ways, in all the Puranas, Upanishads, Vedas and everything. So, the essence of all the Vedic study is to come to the point of chanting the holy name, which in turn will clear up our vision and reveal the Supreme Lord to us. If we don't accept the Vedas, then how will we accept the holy name? If we don't accept the holy name, then how are we going to get the vision? And therefore, people not having faith in the Vedas remain simply blind or blindfolded, wandering in this world of samsara, finding no clue to life. So we don't want to be following in footsteps of such fools. Anda yatandir upaniya manas tepi shadantriya murdamni baddha. They are all bound by the shackles of Maya, and they are completely blind, drowning in the ocean of samsara. We want to be the followers of Mahajanas, Mahajano Yena Katha Sappanta, who have put full faith in the Vedas and in the Supreme Lord and in the holy name, and who have got the torchlight of knowledge. They are carrying it and showing us the way back to Godhead. We simply follow in their footsteps and chant the holy names with full faith. Harinam Prabhu ki